Eagle Farm Racecourse holds a special position in the history of Queensland, home to many of Queensland Racing's most memorable moments. Eagle Farm has witnessed champions of the past and present competing at the state's premier metropolitan track. 2015 marks the 150th birthday of this great servant to the Queensland racing industry, with racing first taking place at Eagle Farm in August 1865, just 6 years after the state of Queensland was proclaimed. Eagle Farm's racing history didn't get off to a flying start, with the Queensland Turf Club's three-day meeting originally set down for the 10th, 11th and 12th of August, delayed by 2 days due to heavy rain and wind squalls. But on August 14, 1865, perfect weather greeted an estimated crowd of 4,000 for the first day of racing. Racing flourished throughout the early years, and by 1900, Eagle Farm was acclaimed as one of Australia's premier racecourses. In 1917, the state-of-the-art Julius Totalizer was installed at Eagle Farm. Developed by Sir George Julius in the early 1900s, the Julius Premier Totalizer was originally devised as a system for counting votes, but due to a lack of interest from government authorities, it was developed for the racing industry to replace existing fraud-prone manual totalizers. The Julius Premier Totalizer revolutionised the racing industry by enabling large crowds to place bets without holding up the start of races. Today, the machine, regarded as one of the world's first computers, remains on display in the museum at Eagle Farm. Another great moment in Eagle Farm's history was witnessed on the 6th of March 1928, when Bundaberg-born aviator Bert Hinkler landed at Eagle Farm before an estimated crowd of 12,000. The previous month, Hinkler had flown from Britain to Australia in just 16 days. A landmark era in Eagle Farm's history began at 2 p.m. on Monday, the 15th of December 1941, when Eagle Farm and Doomben racecourses were requisitioned by the military authorities as camps and training areas. It wasn't until the 4th of May 1946 that racing would return to Eagle Farm, with a record first day crowd of 50,000 turning out to witness the Victory Cup meeting. As crowds returned to racing and post-war building restrictions were gradually lifted, construction of the John Power stand began in October 1955. The £400,000 project was completed in October 1957, a full year ahead of schedule. Over the coming years, the John Power stand would continue to be filled with race day crowds, providing impressive views of the home straight. With a great racetrack comes great moments in racing, and there is arguably none more memorable than Tulloch's victory in the 1961 Brisbane Cup. Tulloch, of course, is regarded as one of the finest horses in Australia, having won 14 of his 16 starts, including when he took 2 seconds off Farlap's 28-year-old record for the AJC Derby. His late career victory in the 1961 Brisbane Cup in front of a crowd of 33,000 rounded out a phenomenal career. And then, of course, who could forget the Kiwi, Rough Habit, whose victory in the 92 Stradbroke will long be remembered, as Ruffy notched up his second consecutive Stradbroke crown. Throughout its 150-year history, Eagle Farm hasn't escaped its share of controversy, including Australia's most infamous racing scandal, which hit Brisbane in 1984. With 150 years of racing history now behind us, the future is looking bright for Eagle Farm. The recently completed $10 million redevelopment of the course proper will be followed shortly by construction of tunnels and infield stables, which will transform Eagle Farm into one of Australia's leading racing and training facilities. Featuring 400 state-of-the-art stables and an infield members and public car park, the new-look Eagle Farm track will be a world-class facility that is sure to draw international attention. The stage is now set for the next 150 years, and what an exciting future it is, with the Brisbane Racing Club's $1.2 billion master plan and the recently announced $855 million residential development in partnership with Mirvac about to get underway.